Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We made it to the weekend. Thanks for checking in with us once again here on the Fumble Live. I am so glad you're here. I am not alone today, which makes me really happy. But let's get into everything. But before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. Share this with all of your friends. And now let's introduce the Fumble Squad. As Kevin Pryor is here with me today, and I'm super welcome, Kevin. Welcome. You can find Kevin at 950 Kev. You can follow. I can't hear you, Kevin. So I'm just gonna. Can you guys hear me?
Can you hear me now?
There you are. Now I can hear
you. Yeah. Again, yesterday was just kind of crazy, but glad to be back today and on point.
Yes, and you guys can follow me on all social media at JRayTheFanatic. I'm so glad that you're here, Kevin. You went to Vegas for the Summer League, right?
Yes, it was in Las Vegas for a couple of days, doing some things with my brand, and also we're into the normal flow of things, and happy to be here on a Friday morning/afternoon.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear. We're going to talk about some Summer League stuff, so I can't wait to hear what you think about this. But let's get into this first Summer League news, get to this Need to Know News segment. This one, I really want to hear what you guys think about this in the chat. So I'm going to ask you this question right now. You guys respond to me in the chat. Does LIANGELO deserve a chance in the NBA? I know that's the thing. I know that's what LeVar has wanted this whole time, is all of his boys playing in the NBA. Now, keep in mind, he's had a kind of an interesting road coming into this situation. He came out of high school in 2017, and he was ranked 226th. And then he went undrafted in 2018. And then 2020, he signed with the Pistons in December. But by the end of the month, he was a free agent. So Sunday night, when LIANGELO made his debut for the Hornets against the Blazers, everyone was excited. I think he did kind of exceed expectations. You guys talked about it in the chat. He got those 16 points in 16 minutes. He was 5 for 8 from three-point range, 2 rebounds and 2 assists. But now here we are on Friday. And now this is one question on everybody's mind. Does this man finally need to be on an NBA roster? Before I tell you what Twitter has to think about it, I want to see, Kevin, what do you think? Should he be on an NBA roster?
Well, you know what? When you talk about should he be on something, you make your own destiny. You clear your own path. And seeing him up close and personal this week, he's done a great job. I think he's opened up some eyes. I think, he's made some people realize that maybe he can be a 9th or 10th man. No, he's not Lonzo. No, he's not Melo. But again, I think he can make a roster. In the NBA, if you can shoot, there's a place for you. And he was shooting very well this past week. Again, he was 5 or 8 against the Spurs, 16 points. He had a phenomenal buzzer beater shot. He's opened some eyes. He opened my eyes. And I think he can get a shot. He's not a star. He's a low-end player. He'll have to compete for a roster spot every year, but I think he's made his way. I think he's earned his keep.
Yeah. Gary Turbo flat out says no. My Glock says give that man a contract. Twitter obviously had some things to say about this as well. So let's get into those tweets right now. This one says, not really. This was the same question they asked. Does he deserve a job? He says, not really. What does he do better than a guy like Danny Green or Jared Dudley or Chris Middleton? Because he'll primarily be threes. And D, he's not really anything special. So that's one no from Twitter. So let's go on to this next one. Only ball brother that's good is Melo. Other two ain't really that good. Melo proved me wrong. He earned my respect. And then we have one more that says, not at all. But people want him in the league because of his last name. Everybody seems to think that this is just a big no. So, Kevin, I know you said yes. I'm on the fence. I don't really have a dog in this race. I'm with you. I feel like obviously he's not going to be the 6th or even 7th man. He could be a solid 8th man. I don't have a dog in the race, I guess, which is kind of disappointing. If he makes it cool, it means LeVar did everything he wanted to do. But if he doesn't, I'm like, okay, that makes sense too. I don't really have like a dog in this race, though.
Well, again, when you look at it, ask Cooper Manning, was he as good as Peyton and Eli? No. Ask, J.R. Smith's brother had a cup of coffee in the NBA. Steph Curry and Steph Curry. So listen, I understand. I get it. I'm not saying he's Chris Middleton, far from it. I'm not saying he's even the guy that gets off the bench. He might be the guy waving the towel, who's giving everybody the pack in the fanny, similar to Theo Pinson with the Knicks. But if you're telling me he can't be a top 13 player or a two-way player for an NBA team, I'm going to kick back on that. I think the kid can shoot. I think he's proved that. And that's what NBA Summer League is all about, to prove what you can do on a minor NBA level. He showed that. Check some boxes.
Yeah. I agree with that. Jeremiah said he had one good summer league game. Hell no. I don't agree with that. I actually would love to see all the Ball brothers in the league. I understand that kind of proves that other user right, where it's just because of their last name. I just feel like this would make for good TV. So I personally need all three Ball brothers in the league. So I am rooting for them. But let's get into this next one, because for those of you who are Clippers fans in the chat, which I don't know if there's that many of you, but congratulations. It actually happened. Kawhi has officially re-signed with the Clippers. He has signed a 4-year, $176 million deal. That, of course, is way more than the $103 million deal he signed in 2018. But let me channel my inner Skip Bayless here for a minute and say something very inflammatory. Because granted, the 2020-21 season those seasons were both weird. Bubble, we're still in a pandemic, short season, injury plagued. I get all of that. But the truth is, Kawhi's still not going to be a leader. He's not been the savior that everyone thinks he should be. Is this a little too much to pay this man who hasn't made a difference on your team? Kevin, that's my question for you.
Well, you know what? It was an old song by an old R&B singer named Colonel Williams. He said, "I'm trapped." The Clippers are trapped. They have no choice but to pay this man. And thank God for Steve Ballmer's bank account. He can afford it, and he doesn't mind spending over luxury tax. They pretty much moved hell and high water a couple years ago to bring this man here, gave him everything but the keys to City Hall. And you know what? You made that. You got to roll with it. They gave away all the picks. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander sent him to Oklahoma City. And now he's developing into a star. They have no draft picks. They had to. I mean, again, they pretty much paid him a bunch of money just to go work out, because he's not going to play this year. And we know how Kawhi is. He's very sensitive about his body, and he's not going to play. They think Kawhi Leonard's going to step on the court in March. Clipper fans have another thing coming.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, with his injury, we know he's not going to really play. They didn't do much with free agency. What's the plan here? Obviously, making a deep run in the playoffs is not the plan. It can't possibly be the plan, because I feel like they would have made more moves if that was the plan. And we already know that they have a chemistry problem. And if he's not going to be playing, how are they going to fix that?
Couple of things, Jackie. Sometimes in sports, economics and business take shape. Not all teams are built to win, as we know. I'm a Knicks fan, as we know. So when you look at the Clippers are building a shiny new arena in Inglewood, right? And they're going to want to have season ticket holders, and they're going to want to sell luxury boxes, and they're going to want to be able to do certain things with the corporate community. They got to have a star. I'm not convinced Paul George is the star that's going to bring people to the Clippers and try to compete them with the Lakers. They're not going to be able to compete with the Lakers anyway, but they got to have a name. Kawhi is still riding off that 2019 championship with the Raptors. Again, if he doesn't get hurt in the playoffs last year, maybe the Clippers have a shot at the finals. I don't know. But this is a long-range move. I mean, again, the Clippers are kind of locked in. They have really no choice. And I guess, you had to sign him. I mean, what were they going to do? Let him go and really go in the tank? So you got to show your team and your fan base you're trying.
Okay, so it's a 4-year deal. Obviously, they're going to have to make some other moves within that 4 years. But can we call this season a wash? Is that we can just say this isn't going to happen this season?
I would call it a wash. I would call it a year of transition. What I would do is try to, work Terrence Mann, let him try to develop, some of these other guys they got. See if Paul George can be that leader and continue on in the regular season. I mean, I think they can still make the playoffs. They don't have the same goals they had last year come into next year, but this is a year of transition. You work on the guys that maybe you have some question marks on, and let them develop. And when Kawhi comes back, maybe they're a better team for that.
So let's play what if. Mm-hmm. If they were fully healthy, could they beat the Warriors in a fully? Now, again, the Warriors would have to be fully healthy. The Lakers would have to be fully healthy. But if all those teams are fully healthy, and the Clippers were as well, could they beat those teams with just the pieces that they have right now?
A lot of what ifs. I don't like playing what ifs. But if in the what if world, yes, they can compete with anybody with a healthy Kawhi, with Paul George on his game. Yeah, they compete. They re-signed Reggie Jackson. They can compete in a healthy world, but they're not healthy. We know the Lakers have a lot of guys who have injury issues every year, and we have still yet to see a healthy Golden State team since 2018. So a lot of ifs, but in fantasy basketball, if everybody's healthy, yes, the Clippers would be a team that can to go after a championship.
Okay, so I'm going to stay in the what if lane. So what if everybody is healthy, and then they went to the playoffs and got swept in the first round? Then what does that mean?
Again, they're locked into Kawhi. And I mean, they signed him for 4 years. They're locked into him. And I think, again, like I mentioned when we first started this segment, some decisions are not always on the court. I know as fans and people who love the game, we think that way. But this was, I think, again, partially a business decision. Obviously, he's still a top 5 talent when healthy. But again, you have to question Kawhi's motor. I'm not knocking injuries. Injuries happen. But he doesn't bring any other intangibles. He's not going to help guys get better in the locker room. You know, we've seen little sneaky things come out recently with Paul George and Westbrook. He's a great guy on the hardwood. No, can't take that away from him. But there is some concern with me anyway with him as a teammate. Back in the playoffs last year, sitting in the skybox and not on the court. Again, they got rid of Doc Rivers, brought in Ty Lue for him. They're doing things. They're letting him live anywhere he wants. They're making it, all these adjustments. So he's locked in. And I think, again, the hope is when he gets healthy for 2022-2023 season, they'll have a shot and maybe have a chance to play. Because on the court, he's great. It's just all the other intangibles I have a problem with.
Yeah, I still think this puts a huge question mark in 4 years. I agree with you. Not to say that Kawhi is not a great player, but he hasn't made the impact on the team that I think everyone expected him to make. And I don't see, as time goes on, that changing. He's still going to be Kawhi. He's still not going to have that leadership. And you need to make moves to get him a wingman. And I just don't know. They don't even have like solid draft. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. But say it again.
They have no capital. They have no pieces to play with. So it was the only poker chip coming with my Vegas mentality. It was the only poker chip. So they had to play what they had and see what happens.
Yeah. So I don't want to say good luck because, I'm always rooting against you, little brother. But, we'll see. We shall see. So let's get into the post up. Let's have some fun with this because, again, I'm going to see if this one changes anyone's mind. I want to circle back to the LIANGELO situation because we all have to admit that what we're about to see right now, I know a lot of us probably didn't watch Summer League because, it's Summer League. But I don't want to take anything away from this man. He is still a ball brother. He can still play good basketball, like Kevin said. And this is a cool moment. I want you to see this buzzer beater and let me know if you think this is a cool moment and if it changes your mind for those of you who said he shouldn't be in the league. Take a look.
Did the clock start? That's the question.
I'm not sure if it started, but he definitely... So they're going to review the last play.
That was the definition of catch and shoot. Like his body wasn't set. I don't even know if he knew where he was. That was kind of lucky to me, but I'm with it. Look, he's like, oh, damn. Let me just. I absolutely love this moment from him. I thought it was great. The question was, they were reviewing it. Play it one more time, Leo, because I don't know. Kevin, does the clock start? Oh, I don't think it did. Oh, it didn't. Let me count it in my head. One more time. One. My Mississippi's is way too long. He wouldn't have got that shot off in time. I get it. Okay, so let's get into what Twitter has to say about this one. Because obviously, I thought the clock had started, but no, it didn't. It says, give that man a chance. He's working his tail off to be a part of an NBA squad. Don't make no sense that he has not earned it. And this one says, clock never started, but hell of a shot. Definitely, you're right. Okay, fine. Let's go on to this next tweet. Or maybe I only have one tweet about that. I still thought it was a great shot. My one Mississippi's, two Mississippi's might have been a little too long. So maybe I didn't. Maybe it was maybe. But Kevin, what did you think about that shot?
It's summer league. None of it counts anyway after the tournament's over. So it looked good. Again, like I mentioned before, I stand firm on that. The kid can be a 10th, 11th player on the bench. I'm not saying he's a guy. He's going to have a lot of DMPs, but he's going to have to get a two-way contract. I mean, again, I think he's showing it, and this is where you show it. You highlight it as summer league, and I think he can make a team. I think at least a two-way contract without question.
Yeah, I mean, at least I'm rooting for him. Like I said, I just think it would make for great TV, and the NBA is all about great TV, so I think it would make sense. So let's go on to this title. What we're talking about, the main thing that we're talking about, a lot of you guys were talking about this in the chat before the show even started, and I'm with y'all talking about it because, first of all, I was putting it out there. You guys know that I was Dame to LA. I was praying for that. Basketball gods did not hear me. I got half of what I wanted with Carmelo, but they was not listening to me. We all knew. We said that ship has sailed, 2 weeks ago. So this shade from Damian Lillard, in my opinion, y'all know I love me some Dame Dollar, but this is unnecessary. I didn't think he had to do us like this. First question was, how much y'all want to bet that before the NBA season starts, the Lakers will still get Damian Lillard? Dame responded and said, bet $1 million. If you don't know what that means, that basically means there's not a snowball chance in hell that I'm coming. So you bet all the money you want. I'm not coming to LA. No. That to me was completely unnecessary. I did not like that. These next two comments, I'm not sure how I feel about these either, though. This one says Dame has a better chance at winning a Grammy, than he does getting a ring. There's 0.001% chance of either one happening, though. So there's that. Okay. Now, I don't mind the clap back because he didn't have to come for us like that, but that's a lot, sir. That's a lot. Let's go to this next one. It says, now this is the one I really want to talk about because I love me some Russell Westbrook, but I don't know. It says they already have a better player named Russell Westbrook. Kevin, help me out. Is that?
I loved it. I ain't going to even lie. I loved it. Listen, I've been saying this from the start in my appearances here and obviously in the chat. Dame Lillard is a throwback player. Dame Lillard is not the type of guy that's going to join a super team. Yeah, he might not win a championship, and probably one of those comments, the 1-0-0-0, whatever, they're correct. But you know what? That's the way he's built. That's the way he's made. He's a different elk. And I'm not knocking LeBron, the ADs, or all these other guys, the Durants, but this is just who this guy is. And he's not going to change just to kind of chase a ring. And I think, again, in my opinion, and we can debate this maybe here another time, all rings are not created equal. Just because you're on a team, Robert Horry or Danny Green doesn't give you the same cachet as another guy like a Charles Barkley or Karl Malone. It doesn't. All rings are not created equal. So salute to Dame. I think, again, he will still be eventually traded. It's just not going to happen early this year or at the beginning of the season. It might happen midway through if it does happen or sometime next year. But he's going to be there this year. Even though I think he should go, he's going to be there.
What about the shade, though? Was the shade to the Lakers necessary?
He's with the Portland Trailblazers, Jackie. Portland and the Lakers are rivals. Now, again, it hasn't been much of a rivalry lately because the Lakers have dominated and Lakers have won a championship, a couple years ago. But he is a Portland Trailblazer. He bleeds black and red. He believes in that city. Maybe not so much the team, but he believes in that city, and he knows what it means to be a Trailblazer living in Portland and with the Lakers. So, yeah, I think he's, wanted to put that out there to the fans like, hey, I'm still riding with you.
I love your politically correct answer. Keep LA out your mouth. Keep LA out your mouth. We knew you wasn't coming. All this is extra. Stop, sir. All right. Made me feel some type of way. I will fly to Portland. You don't know me like that. No, just kidding. But let's go on to this next one because let me tell you something. I am over the top jealous of KLAY right now. I have not had any summer fun. I was supposed to be in the Dominican in September. I canceled that trip thanks to Delta because I'm just scared like that. I haven't done anything summer fun, and KLAY's out here living his best summer life right now. I'm just going to let you see all of these videos where he's showing y'all how to live in a summer in the summertime world. First one, basketball. Check this out. Just the slow motion. I'm out here on my personal. That's just, I mean, I love it. But this next one, now let's just go out and play some golf because we're Clay and we can just do that. Take a look at this one.
Drop. It's right there, though.
Oh my goodness. First of all, I don't know how to play golf, so I'm not that jealous at that one. But the beach one, okay, again, I'm supposed to be in the Dominican and I'm not going, and I'm feeling, look, I'm just going to run on the beach. First of all, who is that? Oh man, is that just a random person? Like, who is that with you, sir? And where is this? Because unless he's further up north, maybe, we don't have water this blue here in LA. I can tell nowhere in California, and maybe up north, but I don't know where he's at. That water is kind of blue. I love that. But let's go on to this last one with the wind blowing in his hair. This man is just out here living his best life, and I am with it. I am with all of that. I'm jealous. Kevin, have you done it? I mean, outside of Vegas, which I don't know if you can live your best summer life in Vegas. Did you do any pool parties while you were there?
I was working, Jackie. It was a business trip of pool parties. I was working and trying to keep money in my pocket from disappearing on them tables. But Klay Thompson, listen, I think Klay is with Nike. And if Nike's listening to me, put my advertising hat on for a second, remake the bow nose ads with Klay Thompson. Klay knows beaches. Klay knows driving. Klay knows golf, and he's golfing barefooted. Put some swooshes on his feet. Listen, this guy here is living the dream. God bless him. I mean, again, if you're a pro athlete, this is why I don't understand some pro athletes. They go crazy. They're losing their mind. They're marrying internet models. Live your best life. Be Klay Thompson. Klay, do a seminar on how guys in the NBA and pro sports should live in the off season. Tremendous. I ain't mad at him. I ain't got no hair to blow out, but everything else I can rock with.
I'm gonna have to dial it back on the whole marry an internet model or an IG model, because we know how that can turn out. They're gonna get that anchor baby and then got all your money, and then all the fun goes away. I'm just going to discourage y'all from marrying these IG models if you want to keep your money that you out there working so hard for. No, don't listen to what Kevin said on that one. Dial that one back. Everything else I co-sign on. All right, let's go on to this next one. I know you guys saw this everywhere. It was the first thing that I saw. I had an immediate reaction to it. I was very disappointed in the women in this video, but I still love Andre for this. So he posted this to his Twitter. Says, not all heroes wear capes. A parent's worst nightmare. My son and I, no one was harmed in this video. So that's the cool thing. If you didn't see the video and him doing this whole Superman dad thing, take a look.
You over here smiling? He's smiling. All right. Leon, no more. Hey, no. You don't do that. Where's your phone?
Okay. So I'm immediately triggered by this because Andre had to run over in slides, which are hard to run in, number one. Oh, girl is sitting in the pool. You are in the pool. Your reaction time, ma'am, is terrible. It's the screen for me, like, oh, he's in the water. But you don't do anything other than stand up. Boo. 0 stars for her. I did not like that at all. But this user clearly read my mind, because this is the first tweet that I saw after this. Because first, that child was underwater for 2 seconds at most. He is definitely okay. It takes much longer for a kid to drown. Second, that lady looked like she was about to jump in. How fast you want her to be? She clearly on the bigger side. Before I get to this next tweet, I'm gonna have to go to you, Kevin. Am I tripping? Her reaction time was non-existent. That is a child in the water.
I agree with you on that. It's just unfortunately some people, when things happen, some people rise to the occasion and some don't. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about her weight, but obviously, she was the most fluid. Again, Andre Drummond, listen, your kids, you give your life for your kids. And I think, again, it just goes to show when things are at, emergency standpoint, you just react. And obviously he reacted, and God bless that child is okay.
Yeah, my Glock, I agreed with you 100%. He said she just gonna let the baby drown because she don't want to get wet. My first thing was she just got that new ponytail in, because the first thing she did when Andre jumped in and she grabbed her ponytail, I was like, that's a brand new ponytail. She gonna let the baby drown because she don't want that ponytail. No, that was not good. And then Doug says maybe she can't swim. That water was 4 feet. That lady could have stood up in that water. She didn't have to swim. No, I'm not giving no passes to that lady. None at all. This next user thinks that this is just horrible parenting. And I don't know if I agree with this when he says, horrific job of parenting, like all-time terrible. Your kid can't swim. You better have your hands on that kid at all times. Terrible job. People like this don't appreciate what they have. I don't know if that is fair, because I don't have kids, but I have nieces that I absolutely adore, and it's a lot to keep your eyes on them 100% of the time. I would have jumped in that damn water, though. But I agree with this next user. That might not be a fair assessment. There's hands on the kid at all times. WTF, bro. Either you never had a kid or you had him in a bubble. That's some dumb stuff. I agree with that. I don't know if you can just have your hands on the kids at all time. What I do know is you can sacrifice that ponytail, though, and go in there and get that baby. Ooh, sis, if I find you, I'm going to drag you on. That was terrible. Okay, so let me go to Kevin on this one really quick, because I have a question about who's faster. I know you're going to have an answer for me. Usain Bolt or Tyreek Hill? Who is faster?
Jackie Ray, there's levels to speed, okay? Levels. Tyreek Hill is fast, but he's not Usain Bolt fast. Just like right. Usain Bolt can't run a route tree, Tyreek Hill cannot beat Usain Bolt in a race. I'm sorry. There's a different level. There's levels to this. And no, this is a different level of speed with Usain Bolt.
I agree. And I don't care. Look, I just want to talk to Tyreek for a second. Don't take this bet. I know that there's been this challenge going out, like, oh, Usain and Tyreek should race. That's fine if y'all just want to do it for fun, maybe a charity event. That I'm all for that. But this challenge that Usain is talking about with Dan Patrick, do not take this challenge, sir. Don't do it. Take a listen.
I proved, if I could get in shape, I proved already that if I really warm up and get ready to go, I can run fast. You know what I mean?
Okay, this is what I'm suggesting the stakes are.
Cool.
Okay, a week after the Super Bowl, or it could be the Super Bowl weekend if he's not playing. You put up one of your gold medals.
Yeah.
And he puts up his Super Bowl ring.
Nice.
There we go.
That would be big.
Yeah, because you got, what, 8 gold medals?
Yeah, I got 8.
I mean, I guess for Usain, he's like, I got 8. So, I mean, I'm not going to lose one, but I'll put one up. I'm fast. I'll put one up. No, Tyreek, I don't know if you watch Fumble, but if you do, please don't do this. It is not worth it. Don't do this. Let me show you this next tweet from this person that I actually... because my money is on Hill. Because I saw you guys all in the chat that said, nope. Ty says, T.O. already beat Tyreek, so don't do it. That part. Because my money is on Hill. Bolt cheated through juicing and cycling, and he's old now. Let me just get to this last tweet, and then I'm going to get Kevin's thought on that one. It says, he meant gold. I know he spelled this wrong. But gold medal worth $800. Super Bowl ring worth $35,000. Don't risk the ring. So let's go back to this. Usain was juicing and cycling, and he's old now. I still say Tyreek should.
Yeah, I'm not going there with that comment. But listen, if we look at LeBron James at 37 and say he could still win a championship, if we look at different athletes, Usain Bolt is a trained professional runner. It's a difference. It's not like running from sewer to sewer. It's not running from Buick to Buick. This is a different type of running. And yeah, he might be a little older, but he ain't that old. And you just mentioned about the TO thing with TYREEK. It's a different speed. TYREEK is fast, but he doesn't have the same discipline as a sprinter. I'm sorry. Put your money out. Now, I will say it would make for great TV if you want to do something like in between weeks in the Super Bowl, the break week or after. Yeah, I'll watch it. If we watch Logan Paul and Jake Paul fight, I'll watch a race like this. But let's face it, my money's on Usain Bolt, and I'll bet the mortgage. That sounds
exactly
crazy,
like I'm down for this to happen as long as it's for charity. But do not put your Super Bowl ring up for this. It's not worth it. No. Charity event, I'm down. I'll even donate. But that's it. Let's just do it for fun. But I'm with Angelique. Muscle memory. As soon as that man hits the ground, if y'all saw the whole interview, because Dan Patrick was like, yeah, you are older now. You haven't raced in a while. And Hussein was like, yeah, but I'm tall. And as soon as I start going, then I'm going. Like, he's like, no, my money's on me. And my money's on you too as well. Don't do this, TYREEK. All right, let's go on to this next one. Because this one is kind of bittersweet to me. I'm happy, sort of, but I'm sad. Because first of all, I totally forgot that football was coming back last night. And then I flipped in through the TV and I saw it. And I was like, oh, damn, let me see what's going on. I didn't have time to watch the game because I was working. But it's good to know that we're back now. And Patriots face the Washington franchise. Of course, they beat them 22-13. Here's a cool thing, though. Cam was talking about, the Mac Jones situation. Cam realizes that, it's going to be Mac's team. And he seems very resolved in that, and he's okay with it. But he said that Mac is super quiet and that he doesn't talk a lot, and it's hard to get him to really kind of warm up to you. But he said the cool thing about Mac Jones is right before last night's game that Mac kind of opened up to him a little bit and came up to him and he says, hey, what can I expect going into this game? How is it? He just wanted to really kind of pick Cam's brain about how it was for him, his first time going out on the field, and especially going out on the field for the first time with the Patriots. And I thought that was dope. I also thought this moment in time was dope for him as well, because clearly Patriots fans are happy that he's there. So take a look.
The 25, and here comes the rookie Mac Jones. Welcome to Foxborough. Welcome to the NFL.
Oh, look at this place. Tell me they're not ready for the next guy? It's really good to see him wear a real quarterback number 2. And for people that are watching the broadcast that maybe haven't been to Patriots training camp, Coach Belichick makes all the rookies wear numbers in the 50s. They sort of have to.
Yeah, so he got a whole football number, like the announcer was saying. That's not usually a thing that Bill Belichick does. You have to earn that. I actually love that, and I've always said that should be a thing. But so this is great. But my whole thing when I was watching that, there was a side of me that was like, this is great for Mac Jones. The other part of me was like, this has got to be like a knife in the heart for Cam Newton to hear them cheering on your replacement like this. Let me get on to this next tweet, so you can kind of see what people were thinking. This guy says, best quarterback in the division already. I had to pick this tweet specifically because I believe, if I'm correct, you are the only one that I have ever known. Well, maybe the second. Aren't you a Jets fan, Kevin?
Yes, I am a Jets fan. So it's like, yes, I am an alcoholic. But again, I mean, with Cam, listen, it's the circle of life, right? I mean, Cam was the number 1 pick, I think many 10, 11 years ago. It happens. You don't play NFL football forever. Again, he understands the game. Cam realizes as long as he plays well, he's the starter for this year. And it's not so much in playing well for New England, it's playing for your next job. But as of with Mac Jones, I mean, obviously, people excited in New England. I guess they have a right to be. Guy won a lot of, he played well at Alabama. I'm not sold on Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones, to me, my grandmother can go out and play for Alabama with all that talent they had and throw 9 routes. And that's what he did. Ask Dwayne Haskins how great it is to play in college football with great talented players. I'm just not sold on Mac Jones. I need more. And if New England fans think that Mac Jones is going to come in here this year and be the resurrection of Tom Brady, then I got a bridge to sell them in Brooklyn, because that's not going to happen. They need to get behind Cam Newton, and if they want to make the playoffs, ride Cam. It's going to be rough anyway because I don't think New England will make the playoffs. But the only shot they got is having a healthy Cam Newton.
Well, Belichick said that Cam Newton, as of right now, is their starting quarterback. But I appreciate how you just glossed over the shade that I was trying to throw. That tweet specifically said he is the best quarterback in the AFC East.
Well, our quarterback's having problems right now, so I'm gonna have to. My answer is incomplete there, and I left it incomplete for a reason because the guy we got at center right now is going through some growing pains. But he's also our guy's also starting. Mac Jones has the ability to come and warm up and come in and when it's right. So we'll see how it plays out.
All right, I appreciate that. I just want to let you gloss over my well placed shade. So let's go on to this next. Oh, all right, you guys, it's riddle time. I want to see if anyone actually knows the definition of this because this one is actually I love this. You remember not too long ago, the Panthers had to do this whole riddle. That was great and it was hilarious. Now the Bears are doing this riddle. So I want you to take a second and answer this question. Is cereal a soup? Now, I'm going to give you a hint. The reasoning why a lot of people said that cereal was not a soup, that's not it. So if you're thinking temperature or it's because it's not hot, there are actually cold soup. So in the chat, I'm trying to stall so you can't see what their answers are. Is cereal a soup? Kevin, what makes a soup a soup?
Well, a soup. I don't know. You're asking me this question. Soup and cereal. If it's bad cereal, yeah, it's gonna become soup real quick. Because cheap cereals become they just disintegrate. So if your mama buying them cheap cereals, then you know you've been eating soup all this time. But soup is just liquid. Soup is liquid, hearty liquid. I don't know. I'm like the Bears on this one.
Okay, that's not the definition of a soup. So let me just let you know this. Daz is the only one that got the understood definition of soup correct. But the fact that this was even a debate is a hilarious display. Take a look.
Oh, a soup is something that's warm, right? So cereal can't be a soup. Come on.
No, cereal is not a soup. No, it's cereal. Yes, if it's hot.
Soup's hot.
The answer is no. You can do your own research and figure it out for yourself, but the answer is no.
Soup is a brothy thing made of like
cereal is a grain, not soup, bro.
Now, I'm gonna say this one out loud, right? And y'all tell me how this sounds. Is cereal a soup?
Okay.
What?
Come on, man. It's gotta be hot. It's gotta be hot.
Cereal not soup though, my dog. It just can't be.
It's cereal soup.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
But the milk and cereal make it. Damn.
Do you see any vegetables and cereal?
Vegetable ain't got soup in it.
No,
Cereal
most soup got vegetables.
You don't have to. Everybody doesn't eat cereal with milk.
Right. So that's true. It can be a snack.
Yeah, it could be a snack. It could,
it could be breakfast.
Hey. Oh, God. Yeah.
If you categorize it, it's cold.
It's what?
It's cold.
Cold?
Chicken cold? No. How many cold soups you ever had?
I know what he's talking about, bro. Cereal or soup, in a way.
Hell no. Cereal soup. Hell no. Cereal's not soup.
I mean, if you put food, I guess, in water, yes. So I guess yes. It's a cold soup. Cold soup.
Nah. Right? Cereal? Hell no. Cereal ain't no soup.
Cereal or soup?
I'm not gonna lie to you, there's no such thing as dumb questions. But that's the closest to a dumb question. Hell no, ain't no soup. Cereal or soup?
It's the confusion for me. No, right? It's not a soup. Just so you guys know, by definition, the temperature of it does not make it a soup. It usually does have vegetables in it, so Daz was right, but it has to have some sort of vegetable stock. So like the base, like that's why, or like if you put chicken broth, it has to have some sort of broth. It can be cold. Okay. Oh God, now we're just gonna take it further. So I just want to ask this question because this is a great question from our producer. Is a hot dog a sandwich? I mean, if we're going to go down this road, let's just go down the road. Kevin, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Golly. I guess yes. It's between two pieces of bread, right? I mean, what are you going to tell me? A sandwich has to have a certain slither of meat. If you want to call it that, yeah, hamburger's a sandwich, right? We call hamburger sandwiches, so I guess a hot dog have to be a sandwich. I don't eat hot dogs.
I feel like the bear. I'm like, damn, is it a sandwich? I don't know. I'm gonna go guess a hot dog. Right. I'm like, or is it a bread-based taco?
Now you're showing your LA. It's definitely not a taco. I would lean toward a sandwich. Listen, if you go to Chicago makes all those coney dogs where they put like tomatoes and cheese and so I think they would call a hot dog a sandwich because they do a lot of sandwich type stuff than just mustard and relish and sauerkraut.
Then what's a corn dog?
Oh hell, I don't know, woman. I don't know. I guess that's a sandwich on a stick. I don't know.
I mean, stop. I feel like
eat healthy.
Oh God. My Glock says a hot dog is it could be considered a sandwich. I mean, I never thought about that before. My producer just threw me all off. Now, look, I'm gonna be Googling, is a hot dog a sandwich? I don't know, but let's go. Let's get into what we not gonna do. That was fun though, because I have to say, you guys know I'm a Saints fan. My dad is from New Orleans, so I'm a little bit embarrassed at Who Dat Nation right now, because I understand that the vaccine is a triggering topic for a lot of people. I totally understand that. The pandemic should not be. The fact that we are still in the middle of a pandemic should not be a triggering topic for people, especially when you see that daily the numbers are going up, or it seems like we're regressing. That should not be a triggering topic. I get that the vaccine is, so that's a personal choice. I've said it again, you make it for yourself. But Saints fans are in their feelings and taking to Twitter, and they're mad at the mayor, LaToya Cantrell. Love you, LaToya, by the way. You're awesome mayor. Congratulations. But she's saying, okay, look, I understand that we don't want to go back into this lockdown. That's fine, but we're still in this pandemic. So visitors to indoor facilities, that includes restaurant, bars, and the Superdome, will be required to show either, and that's the part that I feel like people are missing, either proof of vaccination. You have to be fully vaccinated. So if you don't know, you have to be 2 weeks removed from your second shot, or a negative test result. So I looked that up, and the negative test result has to be 72 to 48 hours before you go into the stadium. So you can get that rapid test, do it like the day before, but you have to provide proof of a negative test or be fully vaccinated. And on top of that, you still have to wear a mask indoors. I don't understand why that mask topic is triggering, but it is for some reason. So immediately, Who Dat Nation, some of Who Dat Nation, obviously some of us have common sense, but some of Who Dat Nation took to Twitter with the most asinine comments. This one says, my kids are too young to be vaccinated, and now they have to show a negative test to go into New Orleans bar. Absurd. Let's unpack this for a minute. He didn't say anything about going into the Superdome. He's saying, I want to take my kids to a bar. But what, sir, stay home. First of all, having children in a bar where adults can drink alcohol and get a little rowdy is weird to me. I'm not judging your parenting, but I feel like maybe you would let your kids sink in the water without rescuing them immediately, because that's a weird thing to do to me. I don't like that. And secondly, yes, if you want to take your kid to a bar around grown-ups who are drinking, then yes, they have to show proof of vaccine, and your kids need to wear a mask. And I know parents feel some type of way about their kids wearing a mask. Or, here's a novel idea, get the NFL ticket and stay at home and watch it at home. This is not rocket science, people. Let's go on to this next tweet. So this one just says it's some straight BS. Why is this BS? The pandemic isn't over just because you're over it. Let me just say that. Let's go on to this next tweet. This one says, gonna be fantastic watching the Saints play in an empty Superdome in New Orleans businesses closing down due to lack of business. So this guy got into a whole debate, and his thing was nobody's gonna come out and go to these businesses or go to the game if they have to wear a mask and be vaccinated. I don't know if you've met NFL fans, but yes, they will. Yes, they will. NFL fans are relentless. If this is what they have to do to watch a game, they will absolutely do this. If we can be outside, I'm absolutely down for wearing the mask. If I have to show proof that I don't have COVID to go to a grocery store at this point, I'm fine with that. This is the world we live in. Why are we not adapting to this? I don't understand this. And this guy made it very clear, and I saw this on the news, that people in New Orleans specifically are protesting because their children have to wear masks in the classroom. And this is a legitimate sign about how they're protesting this. And he says, prepare for this straight off the West Bank Expressway. I can see it now. And I saw this sign. I believe the sign was either in Florida. I can't remember exactly where the sign was. It wasn't in New Orleans, but he's saying this is coming. It says, our kids, our choice. Our kids, our choice. You look silly at this point, and I get it. No matter, I don't care how you feel about the vaccine. I don't. You can keep that in your family. Y'all can make that decision amongst yourselves. But the reality of it is, our cases are going up with the Delta variant, and we need to be safe. Get the test, go to the game, wear a mask. That's a no-brainer. You don't want to get the vaccine? That's a no-brainer. If you want to make your life a little bit easier, get the vaccine. Do whatever you need to do, but I just don't understand this visceral reaction to doing what we can to make sure we keep each other safe and that we don't continue to transmit this virus. And I'm furious that it is my fan base that is acting this way. What we're not going to do is keep being stupid. Can I just say that? We're just not going to keep being this dumb. We are going to understand that we are in the middle of a pandemic, and we're going to do what we need to do to make sure that this virus dies off and we can get back to normal life. But we're not going to pretend that things are normal, because it's not. Do better, Who Dat Nation. I don't like this. Kevin, why do you think people don't get it? If you want to go to the game, this is what you have to do. If you don't want to do this, stay home. Why is it this hard?
There's a form of ignorance that's out in our world, Jackie, and it's unfortunate that people play into it. And while technology is a blessing where we can have to even do the show and interact, it's also a curse, because that means anybody can put things out there and have it, call it, true, and it's not all true. Again, if anybody who has a problem with COVID, listen, for the record, I'm vaccinated, but it's your choice. But this is a real situation. It's a real virus. This is killing people. And again, I think a lot of folks, for whatever reason, unless it hits home, it doesn't resonate. And, if you think that it's not real, walk down a hospital emergency room, especially here in New York, where it's been the epicenter. When it started, it was the epicenter for so long. This is a real disease. And what do they think the people in New Orleans and any NFL or NBA city has to try to do something? You don't have to take the vaccine. If you're not comfortable with it, don't take it. But I don't think there's anything wrong to ask somebody to get, a swab or even now a saliva test a day before you go into an event. And if you can't do that, then watch the games at home. Simple as that.
Right. I work for another organization, and we put up yellow Post-its every time somebody passed away from COVID in that specific city. And for a long time, we weren't putting up Post-its. And then now we're putting up Post-its again. That's a mind trip when you're like, okay, we're past it, it's over. And then all of a sudden you just start putting up these Post-its again. Please do what you need to do to keep yourself safe. Kevin Lang, I saw you in the chat. He says, my New Orleans family are the nicest people ever. They can spell, though. Praise God for that. And I love that. So that is a perfect way to end this show. We're going to wrap a little early so we can get into the weekend. You guys, thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget to come back Monday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will be back again. You can follow Kev on social media at 950Kev. You can follow me on social media at JRay the Fanatic. Be safe, wear your mask, and be smart. All right? We'll see you on Monday, you guys. Bye.
Blessed weekend, everyone.